Hey everybody, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program RP-0. This is our Twitch recap episode. It's actually going to be part 1 of 2 episodes recapping our Twitch live stream from last Sunday's live show, just because we got a whole lot done, and really each part kind of deserves having its own episode, as they were not really related and not really repetitious. And other than giving you one 2-hour episode, we're going to try to break it up a little bit. Anyway, we are going to be launching our Venus station today. Hopefully everything going well. The last time we tried to launch this thing, it kind of disassembled itself mid-flight. So we made a few changes to the structure of the station itself and reattached it to a new DN6B series launcher. And now that we are right up on our Venus window, it is time to go ahead and launch it. It will go up completely uncrewed, and it's supposed to be entirely empty, although launch clamps might have an argument with that thesis. But that is our first objective for this live show. So as we are getting warped around and getting things rolled out to the pad, I will turn you over to old me live during the show. Fairing size notwithstanding. And it's sideways. That's interesting for a DN6. Oh boy, and that's spring-loaded launch clamps. Alright. So, moon set as target. Here's our relevant data. 39 point some odd degree. Oh, no physics warp. No, no, no. Bad, bad, bad. Please, God, don't let this explode. So if it removed things from itself instead of putting things on, would that make the prior launch attempt a undress rehearsal? Wah, wah, wah. Thought about airship mission like that, and I guess I'd have to use the Methalox Merlin 1Ds to get enough Delta V and TWR. I mean, just to kick from that high out of the atmosphere to something orbital looking? Alright, can we please stop with this physics warpy nonsense? I don't even see it bouncing anymore. Or maybe it's just a really slow bounce. There we go. Got it. Alright, good. And it's increasing. Oh, come on! Oh, Kerbal alarm clock. Jesus. Methalox Merlin 1D, where would that have come from? I'll say, I haven't even really looked into the Merlin engine setups. Oh, Scorpio made the configs. That's why. That's why. Alright, well, I guess we're going to hang out here for a bit, waiting for physics warp to stop being done. Will Artemis be the service ship for the station? I think Perseus is going to be the service ship. Roughly speaking. We could probably use the Artemis 4M without modification. Although Perseus is going to have a larger HG3 upper stage, the Echo upper stage, so it can propulsively capture instead of Aero capture like we do at Mars. Because, man, that the difference between Aero capture and deorbit at Venus is ridiculously thin, and I'm not sure I want to subject a crew to a margin that small, because knowing me, I will screw it up. Alright. Almost down to where we need to be. Seven, 6, 3. Oh, did I turn the pump clamps on? That'll make things real interesting real fast. Now we're still 1.14 off the pad. Pump enabled false. How are we looking for... okay. Well, let's turn them on, see how much we can get in here. With a bunch of clamps running, that's sure gonna hurt. Yeah. Great. Why can't I remember to do these things? Toggle pump. Toggle pump. Come on. Toggle pump. Pump. Alright. And on Venus, between 40 and 50 kilometers, it's about 1 atmo pressure, 60 degrees Celsius, 140 Fahrenheit. Wow. And so that's still gonna need to run your air conditioner. Alright. Can we get, hey, look at that. I think we're topped off. Almost topped off. And only at .25, so we got another degree we can fall. Oh boy. Alright, so probably should check staging, make sure I didn't screw that up too. Main engine ignition, clamps, booster SEP, fairing SEP, stage SEP, HG3, and the rest of it's all manual from there anyway. Oh, come on. Fill up with liquid hydrogen faster. Oh boy, that tank is... we might just run a little past this window. Maybe. Alright, that one is 2438. Oh, I guess that number just gets cut off. Alright, I think we're good to go. And .35. I think we can still make this work. We're just gonna go for it, because I don't feel like taking another lap. So, SAS is on. Throttle is set to full. Let's utilize this pogo. Oh, there go my ears. That was loud. I think we have a good light. Clamps off. Oh, I think I caught it on the downward spring. Alright, we're going. Also, an airship wouldn't even need helium in CO2 atmosphere. It'd be float using regular Terran air. Interesting. Yeah, I guess that kind of density. 1 atmo. This might be a little above my pay grade. Was this partially filled tanks accidental? Yes, it was absolutely accidental. I did not have the pump clamps on, so it rolled out. We filled it with fuel. We waited for our inclination with the moon to be something respectable. And we had a lot of boil off in the meantime. So, you know, things happen. Wow. Alright. Well, we're going. So, we're also sideways, which is really going to throw me off because I'm going to try to turn right this way, and it's going to be right this way. I guess just the bottom of the rocket is rotated because the core is on the correct direction. We just need to not screw this up. So... fingers crossed, I guess. Please, no wobbles. Pleasey, please, no wobbles, no wobbles. Alright, 100 meters per second. Let's go ahead and start to lean into the 90. Oh no. That's not good. Just gonna be extra gentle. Hey Ash, how's it going? We're gonna try once again to throw this station at Venus. Wobbly boy is wobbling. Accurate assessment is accurate. Top heavy payload causing interesting structural issues yet again. Come on, nice and gentle. Nice and gentle. How did I fix some of this last time with the wibble wobbles? Well, I tried to make it bottom heavy with a capture stage. I think it's actually less top heavy than it was last time, but it's also connection nodes and just awkward placement of heavy things. It's like the RAX, but with slightly less death. Sausage forever. Now we're gonna boogie noodle to orbit. It really doesn't look like the shimmy is quite that bad, and honestly, is it coming from the... No, it's definitely within the fairing. Alright, well, we're through Mach 1, and we need to be way lower than this. Like, way, way lower. Maybe Smart ASS might help. I'm willing to give it a try. Smart ASS, kill rotation. Yeah, I think that's a lot better. It has a lot less latent wiggle. So I think this will be okay. I think we can do this. It's just, as that TWR starts to climb, it's going to get a little bit worse. So I wonder... I'm not even going to try to adjust our relative inclination with the moon. I'm just going to ride with it because I don't feel like trying to adjust this thing on more than one axis. Simulation gaming, has this made you extraordinarily happy or extraordinarily sad? I'm wondering if it's worth trying to roll to get the boosters to the side, which is a much safer separation than doing it like this. This is begging for a disaster. This whole mission is begging for a disaster. Not quite yet in mind, but that works. I intended to suggest using surface mode to tell it to hold pitch and heading you want. It can also be adjusted as flight as you go. Yeah, I'm not sure about my ability to keep up with the needs of that versus just tapping the D key. But this seems to be working a lot better. We haven't gone completely batty, although our gravity roll is not going as well as we'd like. We have to decide if trying to avert disaster will cause a different disaster. Yeah. It's actually easier than typing the D key, if you remember correctly. We're talking about muscle memory here, though. This mission is too important to learn new things. Also, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm old and resistant to change. Alright, we need to be like way lower than this, so yeah, we've got like 2 different disasters that we could be causing / averting. WASP, Alt F4. It doesn't count if you Alt F4. Alright, I feel like if we just get to booster SEP, and booster SEP goes okay, we'll be alright. Because then the TWR should be low enough to not do our boogie noodle. We'll just have to see how well this works. Oh hey, look. Accidentally, our relative inclination is going down. This is a happy accident. Might not be a bad idea to throttle back as TWR approaches 4. Probably a good idea. Yeah, let's go ahead and make sure. Am I hitting the control key? Yes, I am. Alright. I'll say we got more than enough loft on this thing. We could probably roll these all the way back down. Alright, about, well, I mean, really, it's going to be about 1 minute and 4 seconds for us, but 37 seconds of game time till booster SEP. Hey, relative inclination, .25, now .26. I wonder which way under the node we need to be. How about this way? That was, fortuitous. Like when Neo had to decide which door to use in the architect's room. After 250 launches in RP-0 save, I learned to use the doc follow prograde function, pitch maneuver at correct moment instead of the follow prograde, and it does follow it beautifully. Yeah, that was the piece of advice Veos had for me when I was doing the SSTO project. Was just start the pitch maneuver and then hit follow prograde, and it actually does work beautifully. I just sometimes need a little more lean over than what it's going to provide, especially with some of these higher TWR launchers at times. I guess that minute and a half was before throttle back. I don't know how Mech Jeb calculates that exactly. Let's keep it a couple of degrees above, just in case. We are well clear of the atmosphere. Too bad my staging's all out of whack. Piece of advice, what he was screaming at me. You know, 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other. I'd be surprised that interplanetary injections sometimes work from weird inclinations like 40 or 50 degrees. I would be surprised. And the sometimes. That'd be interesting. Maybe I should try that with a resupply pod sometime. Although I don't know. I have trouble getting my head around how that would be better than going from like the lunar inclination. That's why I learned to use KSP TOT. What is KSP TOT? Alright, coming up on booster sep. Everyone hold your breath. Clearing away. Fairing sep. Alright. I think we're in pretty good shape. Yes! Launching the lunar plane is just an advice for newbies. Trajectory optimization tool. Oh, interesting. They work from funny inclinations. They just require more precision on the TLI. Interesting. How's it going, Pulsey? Man, I feel sad that launching a lunar plane is just advice for newbies. I've been doing it forever to varying degrees of success, but you know. Alright, still a little bit of boogie in this noodle. I think we can actually get right down the horizon now. 2 minutes 34 seconds to apogee. About 3 minutes 15 of runtime, so maintain a degree or so above. And we should probably power stuff up so I don't repeat previous mistakes. All the solar panels, obviously. Alright, where's my comms? I mean, that's almost what I'm looking for. There we go. Activate, target, Earth. Thank you. Okay, so. High inclination orbit is probably help with the plane change. Oh, I know you were the first one here. I just thought you, like, went to watch another stream and then came back. Configure comms. Not sure if sweet solar panel sound effects or doggo party. Lady Crash collecting baby toys. Doggo breaking some glass. Kind of changes your heliocentric orbit plane. Really, it's about encountering the target planet relative ascending or descending node. Interesting. Dang it. Alright, well, for the next install, I'm certainly going to have to look into this. Alright, so here's our self-assembling station. All nicely packaged. If anybody remembers, like 10 years ago when we did the build-a-so to this thing, these were connected like off to the side and here. This is going to do it all on its own. These are mounted to the transfer stage, so when it gets to Venus orbit and captures, it will detach all the things and then dock itself to itself to do all the stuff. I meant but less complex. Gotcha. Alright, and RCS to arm. Let's just, okay, good. None of our station thrusters are firing. That is excellent. Matt Lone style. Maybe? Oh wow, we can be way closer down the horizon. And, oh boy, that wiggle. The wiggle, the wiggle. Actually, it looks like it's the station, I don't know, I guess that's the core module bouncing on this thing. So yeah, I think there's actually a docking port at the bottom of that. Yep, that is probably our weak joint currently. So really that wiggle is not a problem because this doesn't have a whole lot of mass to it. I think there is some fuel in these little lateral tanks though. That's okay because they're not meant for docking. Alright, 2.6 kilometers per second left in our core stage. Current speed 6.4 kilometers per second. That's looking pretty good for orbit insertion. Sweet. Have you gotten around to adding configuring the HD3 variants you suggested? Well, more configured? No, not yet. Actually, I had like exactly 1 hour of KSP time this week. I used it to record the last episode. This is all I've done since then, because it's hard to Kerbal for me most of the time, which really, really sucks. Speaking of Matt Lone, anyone watch the new episode of Nat Geo's Mars series? Commander of that new base kind of looks like a 40-plus-year-old Matt Lone. Say I've got configs from you, Ash, and I've got configs from Lucy, and I think Wookie has some stuff to send over. There's a lot of stuff that I need to fold in. I just haven't gotten around to do it, and then test it all out and make sure everything's working well. It does just mean sit down and do it. I have not noticed that. And then again and see. Fair warning, I don't think you're using them. The HD3 SL variants are going to be hit with the nerf bat. Really? They've been in service for years now. You can't nerf them now. Oh, man, this orbit is junk. Oh boy, such junk. This is what I get for not paying attention. Alright, shut down. 1.8 million by 150. Perfect. Alright. Goodbye core stage. Hello HG3. Activate radiator. Come on, KSP. Oh, no, please don't crash. Thank God. Oh, activate radiator. We can get rid of the RCS for now. We don't need that. Vacuum specific impulse was too high. I'll say, what's the new figure? Oh, I can turn debris off. That's just going to clutter up the map. Tried to do a bit of debris removal today. Yeah, rendezvous planner. We don't exactly need you anymore. We need maneuver planner, however. So I've sped up a little bit the plotting of nodes because I know exactly how riveting node plotting can be. But essentially, it was telling us that we are a few days out from our ideal window, and really any window. It was telling us that we should leave in 3 days. The radiators will not cool the main portion of this tank, so we are actually not going to wait around for 3 days. We're going to instead replot our node and go pretty much right away, which does require a little bit of a mid-course correction, but that doesn't really bother me all that much. It's just the two ignitions on the HG3 that is kind of the limiting factor. So while we can choose to do a mid-course correction, it essentially means choosing to do it on RCS power alone, which is less than ideal, but still we can do it. A whole lot of bouncing around here on these nodes, trying to get our encounter to be somewhat close to Venus at all. Did eventually result in a path that kind of worked. It took a little massaging, and really at some point there was not a whole lot closer we could get, so that's when I started to plot out the mid-course correction, although you can see it's not quite yet. We're still kind of fidgeting around with things and just kind of hoping that we can actually walk this node a little closer, although it doesn't look like it wants to cooperate. So we came out here to Apoapsis. It would not let us plot a node because KSP, being KSP, trying to slide a node outside of Earth's SOI worked accidentally because KSP is being KSP. There it is. We'll slide it around just a little bit and then make further corrections here, although as it was pointed out to me in the chat, plotting this mid-course correction now is pretty useless just because I am kind of terrible at getting these nodes right, especially on the first try. So this node might be completely way off point. I guess we'll have to see, and we've already experienced quite a bit of boil off, but we're going to try to get ourselves warped around to this node and get ourselves spun around facing into it and get our engines lit and get this mission underway, because I would really like to start earning some science from a crew parked in orbit of Venus. Anyway, I'm going to turn you now back over to old me live during the show. Oh boy. I'm probably a little behind on this, so I need to bring up info on this HG3. Risky, huh? Stable. We're just gonna... Oh, it only has 2 ignitions. I did not upgrade the engine. Very stable ignition. That means any mid-course correction, if we want to keep this HG3 stage for propulsive capture, we need to do it entirely on RCS. Womp womp for life. Not over, just past, like a well-inclined intercept trajectory. Unlike any of mine. So this has enough delta V to inject Vesta, but no Vesta in this version. Sadly. Very sadly indeed. Good thing about mid-course corrections is they can be done as slowly as you like. Oh, and is it going to be slowly? How is our resource consumption? Electric charge staying topped off. Fantastic. Why is there... Oh, no. I thought I turned the clamps on. That's why I had... Maybe I had the clamps off intentionally. These were supposed to be empty. More or less. They do have all the sciencey bits. And no action group to radio them in. That was smart. Good job, me. Or, you know, maybe I built it during a live stream. And, I should know better by now. Also, it would need another 4.5 kilometers per second to capture. Why not dump them as you go? That is probably a pretty good idea. Save us the money. This stage is responsible for most of the capture. I'm just hoping to get a free kilometer per second or whatever out of the B upper stage. Water. Dump, 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 dump. There's more, isn't there? Yep, dump. Food. Dump, 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 dump. Dump. Free orbital sandwiches. Just dump the life support. It got incorrectly lifted. Oh yeah, the button next to the resource in 1.1.3 is glitched, so it will play this sound forever. Green Dwarf's unrealistic. You know, it's all housed in VAT with valves. Next week's stream, welcome back to RP-0. We're going to be doing a mid-course correction for Venus Station 90 minutes later. Thanks for hanging out. Fair. It wasn't supposed to be here to begin with. And really, what kind of quality space station can't vent sandwiches into space? No space station of mine. I'll assure you that much. The rest of the ejection burn went about as well as could be expected for me flying things by hand, doing everything last minute while trying to also talk to chat and keep things relatively on point. We did get all of the unnecessarily loaded life support things out before wasting entirely too much Delta V. A little bit of physics warp reminded us why we should actually never be using physics warp for things this large slash awkward and complex, perhaps. Although we were treated to some relatively nice visuals on the way out the door here. About halfway through this HG3 ejection stage, we are planning on, well, rather, we are hoping to have some of this fuel tank left over so that we can use it for a capture maneuver, or at least to start a capture maneuver propulsively in Venus. We do have a dedicated capture stage that should be enough to get us into orbit and possibly even lower that orbit to something reasonable, but anything bonus we can get from our B upper stage here is, well, a bonus. Anyway, so the last little bit of the burn, as I guess would be standard fare, resulted in not a encounter, strictly speaking, because, you know, that's just how things go a lot of the time. We did switch our view over here to Venus while trying to wait for it, but eventually went for engine shutdown, and then started to plot out this mid-course correction so that we could A, encounter Venus at all, and B, dial it in to where we could be at around the same orbit as our life support resupply pod, which is already there waiting for us. We'll select it as a target now, and try to align our periapsis with an ascending or descending node so that any inclination changes can be made way out at apoapsis and will be extraordinarily cheap. But it does look like we have about a 270 some odd meter per second correction to do on the back of RCS, and that's not going to be fun. So I will probably do that off camera and speed it up one whole hell of a lot. Anyway, the second part of this live stream will be coming in a day or so, but that's going to do it for this episode, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out. I really do appreciate it, and I will see all of you in the next one. So until then, see you later.